This hour brought to you by GCNLife.com. Live younger, look younger, feel younger at GCNLife.com.
The stocks discussed on Wall Street Raw are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering on acting on information, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice.
What kingdom has sent you?
The kingdom of the Most High.
Nothing you have ever experienced can prepare you for the unbridled carnage you're about to witness. The Super Bowl, the World Series, they don't know what pressure is. In this building, it's either kill or be killed. You make no friends in the pits and you take no prisoners. 1 minute, you're up $500,000 in soybeans, and the next, boom, your kids don't go to college and they've repossessed your Bentley. Are you with me?
The Genesis Communication Network is proud to bring you Wall Street Raw with nationally recognized market timer and previous Wall Street Week elf, Mark Leibovit, welcoming you on board his financial time machine. And here is the elf himself, Mark Leibovit.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Wall Street Raw on this, I guess, somewhat long Christmas weekend. We are taping the show here late Friday, but we are airing here on the 22nd of December, and hopefully all of you have a happy and safe holiday weekend. Merry Christmas to all of you, and we'll be back with you next week as we run into the New Year's weekend as well. As you know, we always try to line up a very interesting sequence of guests. A couple of our guests will not be with us today because of the holiday. Henry Weingarten's doing his own webinar today, and Sinclair's down in Brazil enjoying the sun down there for a couple, 3 weeks. But my good friend Harry Boxer is available for us. Harry Boxer is the author-creator of the TechTrader.com, and he's also the author of a great book which was published back in 2015 called The Profitable Day in Swing Trading, which was named by Stock Traders Almanac as the 2015 Best Investment Book of the Year. Harry's website, you're able to sign in and watch his intraday trades, and of course he has some intermediate stuff as well, but we just love having Harry on the show for his perspective. Harry, thank you for joining us on this Christmas weekend.
Oh, it's a wonderful day, isn't it?
Okay. Well, we had a little bit of a correction here in the markets, that's for sure. But let's talk about where we are here. We have entered a little bear cycle. Are we going to get any Santa Claus rally or New Year's rally? That's the big question, right?
Well, speaking on Friday morning, the markets did pop and get right to resistance. Looked like they're going to explode, and then they just stopped dead in their tracks, rolled over, and have pulled back rather substantially. We're now down 160 points off the morning highs on the NASDAQ 100, down to 105 on the day. And it's fallen pretty hard here. The tick just got to minus 1,000. I don't see where the beef is, so to speak. And the only positive factor I can say is that the S&P hasn't broken down yet to new lows, and NASDAQ 100 has. Maybe it's a positive divergence setting up. We'll see. But it's brutal out there, and until we see a bigger negative tick, a bigger higher reading in the VIX, and a bigger or deeper, should I say, oversold reading on the oscillators, we may not be there yet. We're close, though, I think. I wouldn't be shocked, by the way, to see a late, sharp snapback rally, mostly fueled on short covering. I believe that going into the holidays here with Christmas on a Tuesday, that basically it's 4 days of holiday coming up next, at least. And so a lot of people will be off the desk, and there may be some very light trading even going on this afternoon, and especially on Monday. I'm not sure are we open Monday? I think we already are. So the bottom line is, as we speak, it's a nasty pullback midday and making low lows on NASDAQ, but the S&P is still trying to hold up. I'm still a believer that a lot of stocks, particularly the tech stocks, are at a extreme oversold condition. Google, for example, is at a 1-year multiple bottom support level around 980 here. It could be really interesting to see if that thing holds or not. And so some of the tech stocks, Amazon's down 65, and as we speak, Netflix is down 16, and it's getting across the board tech wreck, so to speak.
Well, there's no surprise. A lot of these big names, as you know, the Googles and not so much Tesla, that's been in its own world, but Apple in particular, these topped out a couple months ago, so there's no surprise that we're in a correction.
Yep. Well, so I'm looking to see whether the S&P can do a positive divergence and not make a lower low today.
And, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of a corrective cycle in the markets, too, Harry. Sometimes, bear markets come and go. And,
Are you aware that the NASDAQ 100 is already down 20% off its high? 20%? This is bear market.
Right. So we buy the inverse ETFs and play for the downside. You and I can come up.
Every day we trade the TVIX in particular for volatility, and that's worked out pretty well all day. Every day. So we'll see what happens. But right now they're falling again, and but the S&P's at support. It's interesting.
Do you have some I don't want to call them big picture, but near term numbers? Where can the S&P and Nasdaq 100 go here if this continues the next couple of months? Becomes a bear market.
Well,
you have some big numbers.
Couple months, a lot lower, but I'm looking for a short term low right in this range between 6,085 and 6,115. Right now we're 6,139. We're not far from that level. The S&P target I had was 2420, maybe as low as 2385 with 2455. So I don't think we're that far away. We could do that. Or we can reverse right in this range. We've come down quite a bit. Something like 15% on S&P and 20% on the index. So it's a brutal market. And look, after the 10-year bull market, we were due to have something like that with all the uncertainty out there with trade and everything else. But I'm looking for. I actually, at this point, I'm calling for a market rally this afternoon.
Okay, well, this recording is going to be played Saturday morning, so we'll see if that prediction works out. Let's talk about the gold stocks. They've been coming back nicely. You've been doing well there, particularly your Kirkland Gold.
Well, the only problem I have is that just when it looked like it's going down, it's down again. I'm not seeing any follow through.
In the golds?
Yeah, I know. I mean, there is one stock I just put out. There's three stocks I like. AU, Anglo, and particularly I like KL, which is making new all-time highs in this market. And the large baby that I like the best, the big guy, is Royal Gold. If you look at that chart, it's moved from 70 to about 87 in the last 3 weeks. And, I just think it's not that far from its all-time high. That also augurs well for some gold stocks. But it's a mixed picture. You got to be really careful, and this market is extremely volatile.
Right, and when that symbol is RGLD for Royal Gold, that's your big favorite. That's the blue chip, so to speak.
Right.
All right, so they've taken some of the cannabis stocks to the cleaners, Harry, but in my personal view, it's just another one of the big corrections we get in the sector. It's very volatile. Any particular favorites there now, or just?
I think the big boys are one to watch, CGC. And that's down from 59 to 26 and change. It's a buy down here, I think, in this range. Maybe as low as, we may get it down in the low 20s. That would be a steal. And then I like ACB. I think it's one of the big boys too, and it's only trading under $5. That thing was up in 11, 12 range, so that's cheap too. And then there's TRON, Kronos, around 10.5, down from 14. That's holding up pretty well. And then, of course, the big boy Tilray, TLRY, which, although it exploded to 300 at one point, it pulled all the way back under 70 before bouncing. Right now it's trading at 71.80. It's about 6.5 times. You can see how they're under pressure.
And all these names have deals with very big companies. In fact, Tilray, I think, just came out with a Anheuser-Busch announcement on Thursday.
Right.
And, Kronos working with Philip Morris, Altria, and, of course, we know Constellation Brands with CGC, Canopy. So they definitely have some strong partners out there with deep pockets. So I think that's something our investors need to think about on a long-term basis. Harry, thank you so much for joining us. Harry Boxer from the TechTrader.com. You still have a 2-week free trial, right?
Yep, no credit card necessary. Just sign up and log in and enjoy the ride for 2 weeks.
Well, we will. The Harry Boxer from the TechTrader.com. Have happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and we'll talk to you next week, Harry. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That was Harry Boxer from the TechTrader.com. We're going to have Don Violo joining us here after the break, and an encore performance from Bill Koenig, and a little bit of me on Section 4, talking about hemp and cannabis. Don't touch your dial. You're listening to Wall Street Raw.
You're listening to Wall Street Raw with Mark Leibovitz. Go to wallstreetradio.com for information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
sound of a house being trashed while a gang of thieves ransack the place. And what they don't steal will be destroyed.
This year, resolve not to be the next victim of a break-in. Go to faketv.com and discover a device that creates the illusion someone inside is watching TV, even when you're miles away. Security is a mindset, and Fake TV should be part of your security solution. Be vigilant, but not fearful. faketv.com.
Marijuana has unleashed a green gold rush across our nation. It's creating $10.8 billion in new wealth a year. And every day, it's transforming more and more Americans into millionaires. In an historic event, former Speaker of the House John Boehner reveals how you could become one of them. Join him online for the American Cannabis Summit. Attendance is 100% free, but space is limited. Join online at www.acs2018.com. This event is the first of its kind ever. John Boehner and an esteemed panel will reveal which cannabis stocks are primed to deliver life-changing windfalls in the weeks and months ahead. Plus, they will show you how to become a cannabis angel investor, backing the hottest startups before they potentially become worth billions of dollars. Join American Cannabis Summit online at acs2018.com. Attendance is free. That's acs2018.com.
The United States of Empire is a book that claims the United States is the empire of the world. George Washington had warned us against foreign wars. The United States of Empire shows that World Wars I and II left England broken. Its former colony, the U.S., had to save the empire. Was there ever a vote? Who do we fight for? The deep state began with World War I. The United States of Empire by James Dunn. Available at Amazon Books.
Do you feel like many of us? All the distractions in the world taking our minds and focus off what really needs to get done day to day? Well, Jeunesse has a dietary supplement called Mind to help with mental distraction, and it supports memory function. Go to GCNlife.com now to check it out. You're only at your best when your mind is at its best. Go to GCNlife.com or call toll-free 844-443-6637. That's GCNlife.com or 844-443-6637.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat, I would flip-flop all night long, I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you could move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed, it's about how much of that quality sleep we get. I do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States. I have a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry my pillow, and I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose.
And here's Mike's best offer ever. MyPillow is now offering 50% off their 4-pack special plus free shipping. Go to MyPillow.com or call 800-870-0305 and use promo code GCN. That's 50% off plus free shipping. Don't delay. Order now.
Hi, I'm Dan Pilla. I started fighting the IRS over 40 years ago when they tried to seize my mother's house. I sued the IRS and won. I beat the IRS then, and I've been beating them ever since. I wrote the book on tax debt settlement, and I've helped thousands of people deal with tax problems they thought might never be solved. I can help you too. If you owe taxes you can't pay, don't wait another day. There's no such thing as a hopeless tax case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX or go to my website, danpilla.com. That's danpilla.com, danpilla.com.
Think positive. Never show any sign of weakness. Always go for the throat. Buy low, sell high. Fear, that's the other guy's problem.
Welcome back to the Wall Street Raw Radio Show with Mark Leibovitz, your time machine for the financial markets. Want to know more? Go to wallstreetrawradio.com. Now, here's the elf himself, Mark Leibovitz.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw on this Saturday, the 22nd of December, right into the, well, for some, a long Christmas weekend. Christmas on Tuesday, Christmas Eve on Monday. Most traders that I know are on the road, gone, but we're still getting a lot of volatility in the markets. Have been sort of brutal out there for the the bulls, and now the question is whether a new bear market has started. In the NASDAQ, I think we're already down 20%, so by some measures that has already occurred. Meanwhile, our good friend Don Violo is on the line. Don Violo publishes the EquityClock.com blog along with TimingTheMarket.ca, and it's always a pleasure having Don on the phone, not only for his general market commentary, but the perspective from Canada. Good morning, Don. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Mark.
Well, speaking about the market being brutal, let's just start off real quick, maybe off track here a little bit. You know, the cannabis stocks were like the hottest names in Canada for the longest time, and since October, it's just been down. Even the big one, Canopy Growth, which I think topped out at $59, is now trading around 26 and a fraction. So, any thoughts there? Is just these stocks are overvalued, or is it just the big volatility we've seen in the sector for the last couple, 3-4 years?
Well, we had a light of improvement coming last week, particularly when it came to Tilroy, who was very much in the news last week. On Thursday, Tilroy was up about 10%, so that was significantly a gainer relative to the other stocks in the sector. The company announced a partnership with Novartis to explore opportunities in the medical cannabis market. It also announced a partnership with Anheuser-Busch to research cannabis beverage opportunities. So this is the start of a process that we'll see happening over the next few months. Look for more cannabis companies to announce mergers and partnerships in 2019.
They certainly have some big partners. I mean, you talk about, Tilray partnering up with Anheuser-Busch. I mean, Anheuser-Busch certainly has deep pockets, and, the beer industry, from what I understand, has been under pressure, particularly in states like Colorado. I don't know how it is in Canada, where, people may be trying cannabis versus drinking beer, and the whole new business of creating those infused beverages is a big thing. Canopy Growth, partnered with Constellation Brands. We read that Kronos is working with Altria, Philip Morris. There were rumors that Coca-Cola was talking to one or two companies, and they seem to have changed their mind, but I have a feeling that's still going to happen. So I guess for investors, if you got big partners with deep pockets, the industry is here to stay, Don, that's for sure.
Yeah, it looks very, very good, particularly companies like Tilroy, who've made a couple of very good deals with major companies. This is just the start of a whole process. We're expecting many more countries to allow medical marijuana coming into 2019, and a few more will also approve for use of cannabis for recreational purposes as well.
Just as an aside here, since we have a little time in this segment, both Don and I are going to be attending the World Outlook Conference February 1st in Vancouver. That's Michael Campbell's annual event, and this year they've asked me to host or co-host a pre-cannabis conference on the Friday afternoon. So we're going to have some companies there, representatives of several firms. We're going to have panels, and we'll also be talking about the technical look for these stocks as well. So Don will be there with his presentation, and I'll be doing mine as well, but also we're going to be talking a little bit about this very hot sector, which has interested so many players in the Canadian market. So let's jump into the brutal week we had for equities, Don. The Santa Claus was replaced by the Grinch, you say.
Yeah, that was brutal last week. We saw computer-generated selling right across the board, and Trump's tweets on a possible shutdown of the U.S. government took its toll as well. The VIX index spiked to over 30, which is the 10-month high. So indicating there's lots of risk that's being indicated in the market. However, technical indicators show that the S&P 500 index is the most oversold since September of 2015. Only 8% of S&P 500 stocks are trading above their 50-day moving average. Now, we haven't seen a solid sign yet that we're bottoming yet for U.S. equity markets. However, after September 15th, which was the low, we saw the S&P 500 index manage to gain 13% during the next 2 months. The bottom line on this is prepare for technical signs of an equity market bottom.
We're still in a seasonal positive period, though, too, at the same time, correct?
Yes, and that has not shown through this year as much as it normally has in the past. But there's still time, particularly if you look at the presidential cycle. Historically, two of the better quarters in the U.S. presidential cycle is the first and second quarters in the pre-election year, which is the first and second quarters of next year. So seasonality still has a chance of coming through. It just hasn't come through for the Santa Claus rally so far.
Okay, so not all equities moved lower last week, right?
Yeah, it was fascinating. Gold and gold stocks did very, very well. The gold bug index completed a double bottom pattern, gained about 4%. Even Jim Cramer jumped on this one. He noted on Thursday on Mad Money that owning gold stocks in the current stock market environment makes a good sense. 'Tis the season for gold and gold stocks to move higher to the end of February.
Yeah, so we are in that positive seasonality for gold. We talked about this for the last several weeks, and your work nailed the advance. That was a great call, Don.
Yeah, so far so good. Stick with it. We still have another couple of months to go.
So let's talk about the U.S. dollar index and how that ties into the strength in gold.
It's fascinating. The U.S. dollar index has been going sideways for approximately the last 5 weeks. Sort of forming a typical topping pattern. In fact, on Thursday, it did complete a double top pattern on a move below the 95.93 level. Now, this is very positive for anything related to the U.S. dollar, things like gold and gold stocks. Also, I mentioned base metal prices and base metal stocks do very well when the U.S. dollar index moves lower. Now, we're just entering this. Their base metal stocks are just entering their period of seasonal strength, which lasts to spring.
You like copper as well for next year, correct?
Yes, it looks very, very good. The technicals are there. The fundamentals are even better. We now have a situation where copper inventories on the London Exchange are below their 5-year level. So we have a shortage coming up in copper concentrates. That's going to be a very good positive scenario for copper and copper prices. This is particularly true if China does reach a deal with the United States on trade. China is the biggest user of copper. You can expect that copper demand will increase quite nicely after a deal is made.
Don, I want to thank you so much for joining us and taking so much time with us on this Saturday morning. Don Violo from EquityClock.com and TimingTheMarket.ca. And have a Merry Christmas, and we'll talk next week before the New Year. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Take care, Don. Don Violo from EquityClock.com. Don't touch your dial. We have an encore presentation coming up with Bill Koenig.
Go to WallStreetRawRadio.com for more information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at WallStreetRaw.com. Here, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth and help you avoid the next big market tsunami. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of his Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to WallStreetRaw.com and sign up for his free monthly Cannabis Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free monthly Gold News Raw report. Both are totally free. No credit card information is required, and no one will call. Sign up today for your free Cannabis Vice News Raw report and Gold News Raw report at WallStreetRaw.com.
The Genesis Communications Network is one of America's premier broadcasters of captivating talk radio. We thank you for listening. Now, just imagine, there are thousands of people who are just as passionate about radio as you are. But what you may not realize is how easy and affordable it is to advertise with us. Radio commercials for your business could be heard on hundreds of radio stations across the U.S. every day. We can help you by creating an effective radio advertising campaign for your company. From script writing to producing your commercials, commercial, just like the one you're listening to right now. No other network provides the level of customer service we do. When it comes to radio advertising, we are your one-stop shop. And no matter how big or small your business is, we can help. Email us at advertise@gcnlive.com, and an experienced advertising executive will help you take the first step towards driving more customers to your business or website. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the Internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
Heart-related health problems affect millions of people each year. Maybe you're one of the many who suffer from issues related to angina pain, high blood pressure, congestive heart failure, unbalanced cholesterol, irregular heartbeat, or clogged arteries. There is a solution that doesn't involve expensive prescription drugs that only mask the problem and leave you with horrible side effects. If you are ready to live your life free of sickness, pain, and fear, live your life with increased vitality, energy, and youthfulness, and experience your body healing itself, then you're ready for Heart and Body Extract from Healthy Hearts Club. Here is what one satisfied customer had to say about Heart and Body Extract regarding his angina pain.
I haven't had an angina pain since I've been on it. The Heart Body Extract is just so great. I thank God that I was led to this product that's doing so much for me, and that can do so much for other people.
Call to order your 2-month supply of Heart and Body Extract today. Call 1-866-295-5305 or go to hbextract.com.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw. Want to know more about Wall Street Raw and the Leibovit VR newsletters? Go to wallstreetrawradio.com.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw on this Saturday, the 22nd of December, and the long Christmas weekend. And we do other things on this program besides talk about the stock market. And as you can hear from the opening here with the Ten Commandments, we have a little bit of a religious connection here as well. Strong belief in the state of Israel and keeping our compatriots in this business honest. One of my good friends, Bill Koenig, has agreed to join us again. He's authored the great book, Eye to Eye, Facing the Consequences of Dividing Israel, some of the costliest insurance events and hurricanes and so forth in the last several decades have materialized, according to Bill, because of the dividing or the potential dividing of the land of Israel. So we want to talk about this. It sounds a little bit like science fiction, but it has some real merit. Welcome, Bill. Really appreciate you joining us on this Christmas weekend.
Yeah, it never fails, Mark. When we have a major record-setting catastrophe in America, a lot of times I'm following events up until the time of the event, like a Hurricane Michael, Hurricane Florence, those kind of events. Last year was Harvey, Irma, and Marie. If I don't see it immediately, I look into what's going on, what the United States President or his Secretary of State or his Middle East envoys are doing with the state of Israel. It never fails. I have 127 catastrophes documented in my book, Eye to Eye, Facing the Consequences of Dividing Israel, that now we're up to 133. Hurricane Harvey's the last event that I have in my book. And I don't know, Mark, it just when you touch God's covenant land, which is Judea, Samaria, and East Jerusalem, you can almost feel the collective fury and fire of the God of Israel. It's surreal. It's unreal. But at the same time, that land is not to be divided and given up for an Arab state.
Bill had an interesting career change. He went from real estate into publishing the Koenig Watch back in the mid-'90s, and since then he's also become a White House correspondent. When you're in those press hearings, anybody sympathetic to these thoughts, or they just think we're wacko?
There's a couple people that are, but they're Christians, very strong Christians, and guy with Fox, and actually two guys with Fox, one on air, one not, and one behind a technician, and another CNN guy that are friends, that are Christians, that understand God's biblical covenant with Abraham about the land of Israel. And then I have a couple other people that are following it closely, a couple Jewish friends that are correspondents that are just so intrigued. I've been on a couple of their programs and written some things for them. That this is beyond coincidence. It happens over and over again. I mean, these are the biggest events in history. So, yeah, it's a few people have an issue with it, but anybody that's really taken the time, Mark, that reads it, that understands the law of probability, that understands the significance, the greater the pressure, the greater the corresponding catastrophe, they begin to see like, hey, something's going on here. I said, well, sure, that land is not to be divided. So that's a long answer to your question, but people are trending when they see what's going on and following it.
Well, if you get the book, folks, and you really go through it, I don't know if we have time in a short interview, maybe we can go over a couple others, but there's dozens and dozens of events when there's discussion about dividing Israel, coming from the U.S. side, even from the United Nations side. There's stuff going on right now. I mean, we're hearing talk in the UN almost daily, Bill, so what do we do?
Well, that's all we can do is just continue to, express our feelings. The 1998 financial contagion started when the UN unanimously or overwhelmingly voted to condemn Israel for building apartments in East Jerusalem in Har Homa. And that contagion began in the Asian countries and spread throughout the world. I've documented the international communities financially been impacted by pressuring Israel to divide their land. The main reason to satisfy Israel's neighbors is because they have oil. And look what's happened to the price of oil from the beginning of the Land for Peace process, especially since George W. Bush took office in 2001. And, oil went from the low 20s all the way up to 147 in July of 2008. And once again, there's a definite connection. Financial contagion, oil and gas costs, especially oil prices, there's just so many parallels about that special land that God gave to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and their descendants.
Meanwhile, we have a very friendly president with the announcement, of course, that the embassy is in Jerusalem. But let's talk a little bit about prophecy in Isaiah 45 and the 45th president. I read that in your stuff the other day. That's fascinating.
It is, Mark. Some of my friends in Israel, as well as some people here in the United States, have looked at Isaiah 45, Isaiah 44 and 45 about King Cyrus and how God used King Cyrus to have an impact on Jerusalem. Of all places, you can look at that in the Old Testament, Tanakh, and see that. And the fact that President Trump is the 45th president, that despite the State Department and everybody else that said it would be a mistake, he fulfilled a campaign promise and moved the embassy from Tel Aviv to Israel's capital, which is Jerusalem. And he's definitely been blessed by that. At the same time, his son-in-law is pushing for a Land for Peace process. He's the one that opened up an opportunity for President Trump in May of 2000, right after he took office, 2017, to go to Riyadh and speak to the leaders of the Muslim world. I mean, Jared Kushner's plan is a good plan. He's attempting to normalize relationships with Israel and their Arab partners, at the same time using the United States as a key position. But again, we had the three massive record-setting hurricanes last year and the two this year happen at the very time Kushner is working closely, whether he's in the Middle East, in Doha, Jeddah, or Abu Dhabi, or Cairo, or Amman, working with the Arab leaders, or in Jerusalem. These events were taking place. When he was backed off working on other things like changing NAFTA, these things didn't happen. Again, the correlation of his attempt to create a relationship with the Arab countries, which in a lot of ways on the surface, that looks great. It's a great idea. But the bottom line, again, that land of Israel, the covenant land, should not be part of the negotiations.
God's not very happy. Bill, so our listeners are eager, as I am, to always get updated copies. How do they get a copy of Eye to Eye, Facing the Consequences of Dividing Israel?
Through our website, which is watch.org, watch.org, are also on Amazon.
Watch.org, and you can subscribe to his service, which is terrific. I get it every week, and you can read about all current news events, excluding Israel as well, and Eye to Eye, Facing the Consequences of Dividing Israel. Bill, thank you so much for joining us. We'll have you back real soon, and happy Thanksgiving weekend.
Same to you, Mark. Thank you.
You are listening to Wall Street Raw with Mark Leibovitz. Go to wallstreetrawradio.com for information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Be sure to visit GCNlive.com today.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovitz, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at wallstreetraw.com. At wallstreetraw.com, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth and help you avoid the next big market crash. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of his Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to wallstreetraw.com and sign up for his free monthly Cannabis Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free monthly Gold News Raw report. Both are totally free. No credit card information is required. Sign up today for your free Cannabis Vice News Raw and Gold News Raw reports at wallstreetraw.com. That's wallstreetraw.com.
Extendivite, a 7-herb combination made from garlic, cayenne, hawthorn, bilberry, ginkgo biloba, valerian, and milk thistle. Extendivite feeds our body with the right nutrients to keep us healthy. Just listen to what Arthur has to say.
I was just calling to tell you what a great product you have. I had used this about, 10 years ago after I had congestive heart failure. And it fixed me up and got me going for the last 10 years. Lately, I've been having heart trouble again, so I placed another order because this was the only thing that ever worked. And I just wanted to let you know that you have a great product.
To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendivite.
Anytime, any place, anywhere. Radio remains the most intimate of all forms of media. At home, at work, in the car, on smartphones. Over 90% of consumers still listen to radio every week. That makes choosing radio as a place to advertise your business one of the best decisions you can make. Email advertise@gcnlive.com and partner up with an experienced GCN representative. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Message and data rates may apply. Please don't text while driving.
If you've been in business more than 20 minutes, you've probably printed your logo on all kinds of promotional products. We all know logos work because they're on everything from the top of skyscrapers to the bottom of shoes. Ever wondered why or how to best use your logo to grow your business? Let us show you today for free. We're 4imprint, promotional product experts at your service. We're giving away the latest issue of Amplify, the digital magazine that reveals promotional product success stories absolutely free to everyone who texts UP77 to 88988. At 4imprint, we make your logo look perfect on thousands of promotional items. With our 100% guarantee, it'll be right the first time, on time, every time. Your free e-magazine will reveal invaluable insights that can attract new customers, build your brand, and grow your business. Get the latest issue of Amplify absolutely free by texting UP77 to 88988. That's UP77 to 88988.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
There is no freedom without the law.
Get it? Got it? Good.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw and the final segment with Mark Leibovitz. Now, here's the elf himself.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw on this long Christmas weekend, and for many traders, that's exactly what it is. This is the 22nd of December, and most hedge fund guys I know are off on the road. Volatility is still in the markets, though, as we saw this past week, and may continue into the new year. So we're just going to have to watch those technical indicators. But having a correction or a bear cycle is not uncommon after a 10-year advance, because anything is possible and likely. So we're going to talk a little bit about my VR Cannabis newsletter, and we're going to talk a little bit about CBD here. As you know, the big story this past week, at least we view it as one of the big stories, is the passage of the Farm Bill, which had been, pending for some time. Mitch McConnell had been working on it in the Senate, and he promised this would occur. The big breakthrough, of course, now is that industrial hemp, is now legal. And there's great opportunities out there if you look at some of the stocks, but if you want to get into that business away from the stock market, of course, that's an opportunity as well. I want to talk a little bit about Charlotte, one of the early CBD products, which is the product that comes out of hemp, was a product called Charlotte's Web. And CBD actually gave Charlotte a second chance of life, this young girl, and this sort of started the movement, so to speak, that we need to legalize CBD, ultimately marijuana itself. So I'm going to read you some material that has come across my desk relative to this, and it's very touching, and it shows how alternate sources of medication or products have to be evaluated, and we can't turn our back from that, and we can't always rely on conventional medicine. So we've seen her flatline in the hospital and say goodbye. I don't think she's going to survive this. This is the words of Charlotte's Figgy's father, recalling what it was like to see his 5-year-old daughter heart stop beating. At that time, Charlotte was having over 40 seizures a day. The seizures reduced her to a vegetative state and pushed her near death. A few years earlier, Charlotte had been diagnosed with Dravet syndrome. It's a rare form of severe epilepsy with no known cure. It lasts a lifetime and often kills young children. Charlotte's parents had tried everything to help their daughter. They made lifestyle changes. They gave her powerful prescription drugs, but traditional drugs only made the situation worse. And that's, no surprise. We know the side effects from prescription drugs. At one point, Charlotte could no longer walk or talk. Eventually, she couldn't even eat. Doctors said the only option was to put her into a medically induced coma. Desperate, her father researched alternative treatments. Eventually, he discovered a video about another family with a young child suffering from seizures. Medical marijuana was the one thing that worked for them. Initially, Charlotte's parents thought medical marijuana was impractical because of its complicated legal situation. Nevertheless, they decided to pursue it. They already exhausted every other option. The first step was relocating to Colorado, one of the first states to legalize medical marijuana, as you know, and then they had to convince 2 doctors to prescribe it. The state required 2 doctors to sign off on medical prescriptions for children. Both doctors were reluctant, but they knew Charlotte was on the brink of death, so they gave it a shot. Prescription in hand, Charlotte's parents still needed to find a special strain of cannabis, one with low amounts of THC, which is the compound that gets people high, but a high amount of CBD, which cannabinoidal, that's what it stands for. CBD has medical properties, but no intoxicating effects, which, by the way, as an aside, is not necessarily negative, as you'll read in other research. But doctors think the CBD can stabilize medical and electrical activity in the brain, producing an anticonvulsant effect. Eventually, Charlotte's parents found growers who could help. After years of crossbreeding, a strain of marijuana with industrial hemp, which is what just got legalized from the Farm Bill, folks, they had developed a strain with less THC and more CBD than typical varieties of marijuana. The next step was extracting the oil from the dried cannabis flowers. Then they could give the cannabis oil to Charlotte. The results were shocking. On the first day of treatment, she didn't have any seizures, none. Normally, she would have had over 40. Using the cannabis oil, Charlotte went into a week without seizures. Without it, she normally would have had over 300. It didn't take long for Charlotte to start eating again, then feeding herself, and then talking and walking. Within a year of starting CBD treatment, Charlotte learned how to ride a bike. Charlotte has continued to take CBD treatments daily. Now, about 6 years later, she lives a most normal life. The marijuana growers that grew the high CBD, low THC strain of cannabis for Charlotte named it Charlotte's Web. Charlotte's story has helped pave the way for countless other children and adults suffering from seizures, and it was featured on CNN. It also helped galvanize national support for cannabis legalization. So far, 33 states have legalized medical marijuana. As you know, 10 have legalized recreational use, but marijuana is still illegal at the federal level. But for the time being, the U.S. federal government classifies it as a Schedule I drug, heroin. But now we know CBD is now okay, and that's because of the Farm Bill. So hemp, where you can derive a good portion of the CBD that you see advertised and promoted on the internet and available, is now a legal quantity. But we have to work on marijuana because there are other places that could help people. According to 3 clinical studies, 2 published in the New England Journal of Medicine and 1 in Lancet, CBD is found to significantly reduce seizures across the board. And earlier this year, the FDA finally approved its first prescription CBD medicine to treat epilepsy. And if you recall, that comes out of GW Pharmaceutical, GWPH, which this is a big pharma stock that we've been tracking in our VR cannabis newsletter for quite some time. They also have a product, Epidiolex, and that's also, been approved by the FDA as well. So a lot of work on epilepsy and the therapeutic effects of CBD. So anyway, the CBD market is now currently worth about $500 million, but with the passage of the hemp bill, there's some projections that it could be as big as $22 billion going forward, and there's a lot of opportunities. Speaking of Charlotte's Web, that's actually a publicly traded stock, which is part of the stocks that we have in our newsletter. We trade it, and we believe this is a play in the CBD market. So this is one you might want to look at. CWBHF is the symbol there. So we both traded and owned it personally, and it's in our newsletter. But this is, not the only play out there, but certainly a quality play in the CBD space. So Charlotte's Web is a publicly traded stock, but the story behind it is so profound that one can't help but think that there's going to be more growth in that industry. Of course, there's going to be competition, and there are other CBD players out there, so Charlotte's Web doesn't, stand alone. Meanwhile, now that the Farm Bill is signed into law, we have, a lot of potential here, particularly for American farmers. The market for hemp is already enormous. Every year the U.S. imports about $700 million worth of industrial hemp products, mostly from China and Canada, so that's going to help the farmers in this country growing their own hemp. And basically the two branches of the federal government at war for nearly a year over one of these controversial products, but thanks to President Trump and the passage in the House and the Senate, the federal statute 115-661 has brought a truce between the DEA and the FDA, and now it's expected to unleash this potentially $22 billion industry, which I just referred to. So take a look at it, folks. There's a lot we can talk about here. The benefits, I think many of you know that already. There's stock opportunities. We've been in a bit of a correction here in the cannabis space. I'm going to be hosting a big event in Vancouver February 1st. We see volatility, but that's not uncommon in the markets, period, but particularly in the cannabis and CBD names, which over the last 4 or 5 years that we've been tracking have seen huge swings, and usually when you get the big sell-offs, that presents big opportunities, so you got to stay at track with it. We try to in our newsletter. We have a list of all the big names, and we have another product, our Trading Addict, where we try to bring in some short-term trading opportunities in the sector as well. Many analysts are bearish out there, think the sector is overpriced, but as you heard in my interview a few moments ago, you have big players, big partners joining into the fray. So a lot of protection there with these big companies. So I want to thank you for joining us. I want to wish everybody out there a very Merry Christmas, and as we do each week, we close our show as our good friend Ed Hart used to do on the old Financial Network years ago when he said, as we say, we will know in the fullness of time.
Thank you for listening to Wall Street Raw with nationally recognized market timer and previous Wall Street Week Elf, Mark Leibovitz. If you missed any of today's show or to get in touch with Mark, please go to wallstreetrawradio.com. Any stocks or investment discussed on Wall Street Raw are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. We first recommend you seek out a licensed financial professional for advice. Go to wallstreetrawradio.com for more information on Mark's newsletters and products.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovitz, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week Elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at wallstreetraw.com. Here, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth and help you avoid the next big market tsunami. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of his Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to wallstreetraw.com and sign up for his free monthly Cannabis Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free monthly Gold News Raw report. Both are totally free. No credit card information is required, and no one will call. Sign up today for your free Cannabis Vice News Raw report and Gold News Raw report at wallstreetraw.com.
Bacon lovers, we ship free. Try our amazing bacon. No refrigeration required. Proprietary value-added packaging provides 10 years shelf life and protects the leanest, thickest, center-cut, fully cooked bacon in America today. Ready to eat right from the pouch or warm and serve. Savory and delicious. Wholesale price for your everyday use. Order today at ReadyToEatBacon.com. ReadyToEatBacon.com.
Complement your health with hemp-derived cannabinoid oil. We've always believed that the closer to Earth, the better it is for our bodies. Our hemp-derived cannabinoid oil is phytocannabinoid rich, full spectrum, and organically grown. Finally, hemp made easy, clean, and effective. GCNhemp.com or call 877-878-4203. That's right, we cut through the red tape. It's now available at GCNhemp.com or call 877-878-4203.